Hello, welcome to Buddhastro. Today's topic is job, career, or profession in astrology. We will talk about 10th house also. How to see why this person has a particular kind of job. Let's see. Before understanding the concept, you have to go through some basics. What are the basics? Just a brief introduction about what is house, which planet signifies which things or not. Here, first of all, you have to remember the earth sign or earthy trines. What is earthy trines? 2 6 10 house. 10th house is a house of livelihood, means from where the money will come. 6th house is a house of service. What is service? Means when you do job under someone. So it is serving under someone. That's why 6th house is a house of service. And second house is a house of money. Now, so always remember the earth trine of the horoscope. Now, which planet signifies which things? You have to also remember these things. Like, first, planets which are Karaka of the 10th house. Which are the planets? First is Sun, Saturn, Mercury, and Jupiter. These four planets are the Karaka for profession, livelihood, or 10th house. Then, planet of the government service. So, Sun is government because it is king, as well as Jupiter because it is Rajya Karaka. It is natural ninth lord. So benefit from the government or king because Jupiter is minister also, as well as Mars also, because Mars is authority. Mars is employee because Mars works under the government. Sun is government and Mars works under Sun. Then Saturn is the planet of service, and Mercury, Venus, and Moon. These three planets are related to business. Now you have to consider these houses and these Karaka planets when we talk about job profession. Now, which houses we have to consider? We have to consider second house because it is related to the money. Then we have to consider 11th house because it is income, regular income, as well as gains from various sources. Sixth house is service, seventh house is profession, as well as self profession or business. Seventh house is 10th from 10th. 10th house is profession, 10th house is business also because 10th house is overall livelihood. So it may be related to the job, service, business, profession, and Lagna, first house, because it is self as well as profession. So you have to see connection between these three houses. Suppose Lagna Lord is connected to the sixth house, person may do service himself. If self Lagna Lord is connected to the 10th house, then person may have self business or some kind of job, official job, where he or she can took self decisions. Now classic says that we have to consider 10th house from Lagna as well as moon Lagna and sun Lagna to be considered, whichever out of three is strong. Let's see what classic says. Classic says considering of the 10th house from Lagna, similarly 10th house from moon Lagna and 10th house from sun Lagna, Surya Lagna or Chandra Lagna, whichever is strong out of these three. Then you have to see the planet which is sitting in the 10th house. 10th house from Lagna, 10th house from moon Lagna, 10th house from sun Lagna. So this planet will tell where money will come from. Suppose Mercury is sitting in the 10th house, you can Connect the significations of Mercury, that money will come related to the significations of planet Mercury. Similarly, you have to see the 10th lord from these lagnas. First, you have to see planet, which planet is sitting in the 10th house from these three lagnas. Then, which planet is the 10th lord from these three lagnas. Classics also say that Navans dispositor of the 10th house lord, 10th lord of D1. It may be from Lagna, it may be from Moon Lagna, or it may be from Sun Lagna. So, when in which planet signs this 10th lord is sitting in the Navans, signification of that Navans dispositor will also tell money come from where. Suppose Sun is sitting in the 10th house from Lagna, then money will come from father, government, or Raj. Similarly, if Mars is sitting, then money will come from the enemies. This is what the classics say. Here you can notice that classics also considering the Navans dispositor of the 10th lord. Let's see what Nadi says. Nadi considers Saturn as the primary planet for job or profession because it is the natural 10th lord and 11th lord of gain. Capricorn and Aquarius sign owned by the Saturn. Now, Bhragu says if Saturn aspected by the planets or planets which are aspecting Saturn's second house, they denote the working places or the profession of the native. Now, here two things you have to consider. First, you have to see the connection of planets with the Saturn, which kind of planet is having association with the Saturn, as well as you have to see the second house from Saturn. Now, see the Saturn placement, then connection of it with the other planets sitting in the horoscope. Then you have to see the planets if sitting in the second house from Saturn or its trine. And you have to see the 10th house from Saturn also. This is what Nadi consider for determining job or profession. Let's see some example based on these theories or prospects. This is the example first. This native has business of brick manufacturing units, as well as he also owns salt factories where machinery work is required. You can see Saturn is sitting in the 11th house and Saturn in the trine of Mercury. This is 7, then 11, then 3. So 3, 7, 11 is the trine of Saturn. And Saturn is in the trine of Mercury. So it may be related to business. Let's see. Second house from Saturn, Mars is sitting. Also, sign is also Mars. Mars is brick. Mars is uh, machinery work. So you can see that second house from Saturn is influenced by Mars. That's why this native has brick manufacturing unit. Now, if you see the trine of this Mars, then Mars is trine into Venus, Sun. Sorry, this Mars is in the trine of Venus and Sun. Venus is already the dispositor of Saturn, and Sun is profession, self also, because Sun is Karak of self also. Now, why the salt factories? Because 10th house from Saturn is sitting here. So 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. 10th house from Saturn will be here. And this has the sign of Cancer, whose lord is Moon, aspecting the Mercury. Mercury is in the trine of Saturn. So Saturn's trine is affected or influenced by the Moon. That's why Moon is Karak of salt. That's why he is also having salt factories. Or we can say 10th house from Saturn has the sign of Cancer. So some water related work may be there or involvement of water related work because Cancer sign is watery sign. So this is clear from the chart why natives have brick manufacturing unit as well as salt factories. Let's see second. This is very interesting. This native tried so many things, job or businesses, but he failed miserably. Finally, they opened a shop of foreign liquor, and when this shop is run by the staff, there is a low sale. But as soon as shop was run by the native himself, then sale got increased. Now you will see how. First of all, you see Saturn is sitting in the second house. Sign is Gemini, natural sign of trading. See trine of Saturn. So trine is 7 sign and then 11 sign. So there is no planet in trine of the Saturn. Now, second house from Saturn has Moon Venus combination. Also, sign is Cancer. So, some watery related thing. Moon is food also. Venus is luxury. Moon is drinks or liquid also. That's why native has opened a shop of foreign liquor. Why foreign? Because Moon Venus trine has influence of Rahu 4, 8, and 12. That's why foreign liquor. And Moon Venus combination is happening also in the water sign. Now, 10th from Saturn will be this house. Here, Jupiter and Mars is sitting. You can see Lagna Lord Venus is sitting second from Saturn. That's why when shop was run by the native himself, then growth has been increased. Similarly, Mars Jupiter combination is also happening trying to this Venus moon. Mars is 11th, Jupiter is 11th lord, and Mars is 7th lord of business, dispositor of Rahu also. That's why foreign liquor and person himself when run it increased great sale. You can see Saturn is here, so 10th lord is also Jupiter himself. And from Saturn, Mars will be the 11th lord also from Saturn. So income is coming. Now, this native struggled a lot and finally she got a teaching job in technical college. Why technical? Saturn, Mars, as well as sign of Aries, Leo, these are the technical planets and signs. 4, 8, 12 sign are not technical. So Mars is technical planet, and only sign Aries is considered as technical. Now she is also interested in astrology and spirituality. Let's see. Saturn is sitting with Jupiter and Ketu. Jupiter Ketu, spiritual or astrology yoga. Also sign is Capricorn. Now trine of this house and this house. So moon is in the trine of Saturn. Whenever moon connects to Saturn, it gives problem in the job or sometimes frequently changes in job also. Here Saturn is also sitting with the Ketu also. Now this Jupiter Ketu combination with the Saturn gave her the interest in astrology and spirituality. And moon is in the trine, it is enemy also. So native got a lot of struggle and finally get a teaching job. Saturn is Karak of technical planet, Jupiter is teacher, and second house from Saturn is Saturn himself is the lord of second house from Saturn. And 11th lord is Mars aspecting second house from Saturn. So this is that's why native got interested in astrology and spirituality, and she got a technical job. Let's see next. This native got job in police department and he joined as a typist and retired from there also. Let's see what Nadi says. Now I am going to compare. Here you can see Saturn, Jupiter both are retrograde sitting in the sign of Taurus. And second house from Saturn has sign of Gemini. Trine of 2, 6, 10. There is no other planet in the trine of Saturn and Jupiter. Now, second house also has no planet, but second lord is joining with the sun. Sun is Karak of government also. And Sun is Karak of government also. And Saturn and Jupiter are aspected by the Venus from sign of Scorpio. Now, second house from Saturn has sign of Gemini, natural third house sign. So it is related to the typing because it is sign of hand. Also, you can see second lord Mercury joining Sun also, and Sun is the natural third lord in this horoscope. So again, hands or typing. That's why he got typing job. Let's see 10th house from Saturn. So 7, 8, 9, 10th. 10th lord from Saturn is also Saturn himself. Now see Vedic views. How we can see the same promise of the chart by Vedic astrology. First, we have to analyze the Earth trine. So second house has no planet. Then sixth house has Venus, sign of Scorpio, and 10th house has Mars. Sixth lord Mars sitting in the 10th house. You can say business or service related to the Mars. So native joined police department. Mars is police. Clear connection is coming. Now you have to see 11th lord because 11th lord is gain. Mars is also 11th lord. So you can say regular income will be there by the service of profession. Venus is also dispositor. Venus is natural karak of second house or money. Now 10th lord Jupiter, or we can say dispositor of Mars, sitting with the Saturn. So connection is again coming from there also. Both are aspecting sixth house. Now the same Mars, which is the sixth lord, aspecting the Sun Mercury combination. Sun is the third lord, and Mars is aspecting from 10th house. So typing job was there for the native. So either you are applying Nadi view or Vedic astrology view, both are giving you hint to the same destination, or you can see the same thing from Nadi as well as Vedic view also. That's why I have given you the comparison. But do not mix or do not make it more complex. Just go step by step. First, see if you are applying Nadi view, then first see Saturn, trine of Saturn, that is 2, 6, 10. Because sign is 2, that's why I am taking 2, 6, 10. If you are taking house, 12th house, then you can take 4th, 8th, 12th house. I take sign, it is more easy. Then you have to see second house from Saturn or where the second lord is going and getting connected. And then you see 10th lord from Saturn also. And you can know the Vedic rules also. Sixth house is service, second house is money, 11th house is income, 10th house is profession, business, seventh house is also. Now, if you know the concept of connection, you can clearly see seventh house is already connected to the 10th house. And similarly, this sixth house is already connected to the 11th house. So gain from service is already there. Blank chart protection. Even if you don't know the planets, you can clearly connection for a native Gemini ascendant. If Mars is strong, native will have gain from service also, because sixth lord Mars also owns the 11th house of service. This is how both sign works simultaneously. Let's see next. Now this native has computer engineering service in the government department. Let's see. Sun is sitting with the Mercury and Ketu. Now you can see In this example, sun is debilitated, but do not get affected by debilitation because it is only one part of a strength. Debilitation means a planet has less positional strength because sign is the positional strength. But you have to see the sadbala of sun here, not just the position of sun. Similarly, here you can also see sun is debilitated since it is sitting in the 10th house, so it is digvali, but it is positional strength is less. But you have to see the sadbala. Always remember sadbal because we cannot judge the whole strength of a planet based on its position on a house. Now here sun is setting in the 10th house with Mercury and Ketu. So government service. Mercury is also the ninth lord as well as sixth lord. So service is there. Now 10th lord is Venus. Where setting is Venus? Venus is sitting in the natural Leo sign, sitting with the Jupiter, which is Karak of Raj, as I already told you. Jupiter Venus combination also aspecting the second house of money. Now you will be amazed that they are sitting in the eighth house. Why? They are, although they are sitting in the eighth house, but where they are aspecting is the second house. So sudden gain or gain from uh, unearned money can also be there. That's why. Let's see next. This native joined government service as a clerk. Let's see. Venus is sitting in the 10th house. Sign is Scorpio. And Lord is sitting, Mars is sitting in the 11th house. Mars is third lord of typing or hands. That's why clerical work is seen from the third house also because it is natural house of Mercury. Now there has been exchange also. 11th lord and Mars has been exchanged. This Venus sitting in the 10th house is the ninth lord as well as dispositor of Sun and Mercury. Here again you can see Sun is debilitated, but still, as I already told you, this is one of the part of strength, not the whole strength. And whereas Saturn is sitting in the sign of Virgo, natural sixth house sign, and aspecting the 10th house as well as Venus, ninth lord. So fortune will be there related to the job or service. Saturn is Karak of service also. This native joined officer cadre July 2000. Let's see. Trine of Earth has Rahu. Second house is also house of status. Always remember this thing. Second house and seventh house is also status. Now Rahu is sitting in the second house. Also it is in the sign of Virgo. Now Venus, which is the 10th lord and third lord, sitting in own Mool Trikona sign, and it is 10th lord of job or profession. This Venus is aspected by debilitated Mars. You can see Mars is the ninth lord as well as fourth lord. So Mars is Yoga Karaka, but it is since it is debilitated. Now, as I already told you, debilitation is just a one aspect of strength. This Mars is aspecting the Venus, Yoga Karaka. Sun, government Karaka, sitting in the fourth house, aspecting the 10th house. That's why native joined officer cadre job. Let's see if connection of Saturn is coming. Saturn is sitting in the Lagna. Sign is also Leo, power sign, and aspecting the 10th house. Same Saturn also aspecting the Venus, which is 10th lord. So Saturn is influencing both 10th house and 10th lord. So yes, services there from government, and it will be a good officer cadre job. Fourth house is also status because it is natural house of throne. I think this is the last. No. This female native joined government job May 1991. Then she left the first job and joined another. Now we focus on change of job. Why job change happens? First, you see, even sun is Digvali here, as well as it is in the on sign, but it is sitting with the Ketu, as well as Mercury retrograde. Mercury is 8th lord also, and sitting with the Lagna lord. So you can say there can be a change also, because 8th lord is getting connected to the 8th house. Now Ketu is also there. So 10th lord sun sitting in the second 10th house, and Mars is Lagna lord and 6th lord. 6th lord is service. Ketu is in the 10th house, and 6th house has retrograde Saturn. Saturn is in the sign of debilitation. This is one aspect, and the same Saturn is aspected by the 12th lord Venus. That's why you can see changes in the job. Why government job? Because Sun is connected, Saturn is connected, because Saturn is the sign of service, 6th lord, already sitting in the 10th house. This native changed job 3 times. Let's see why. First, these are the rules. If you consider these rules, you will find out the changes easily. I have already told you, if Saturn becomes the dispositor of Moon, this is the first condition. Then second, if Saturn is retrograde, first condition is if Saturn becomes the dispositor of Moon. Second condition is if Saturn is retrograde. Second condition, if Saturn sits with the Moon or aspected by Moon or even in the trine of Moon. Native will change job, or there will be changes or even a struggle in the job, because Moon is natural fourth lord of watery sign, and also Moon is karak of change. And when Moon also sits in the 10th house, now if these conditions are there, not all conditions, check any one of these, you can find out jobs related problem or changes in the job. Now apart from these conditions, if 8th lord and 12th lord also sits with the 10th house 10th lord or with the Saturn, you can imagine then there will be changes 100%. Let's see here. Here Jupiter Saturn both are retrograde, sitting in the sign of Virgo. Okay, and it is in the trine of Moon Ketu. 2610, it means Lagna 159. So trine in the trine of the Moon. If you see, here, Saturn is retrograde sitting in the 6th house, as well as it is debilitated. And this Saturn 159, so 159. So this Moon is also in the trine of Saturn. That's why this native joined a government job, left the first job and joined another. Also, one of the reason is Ketu is already sitting there, and 8th lord Mercury is also there in the 10th house. And here native changed job 3 times. 10th house 10th lord is Saturn, is already sitting in the 5th house. This Saturn is sitting with the Jupiter, which is the 8th lord also, as well as Mars, which is the 12th lord, sitting in the 10th house. That's why changes are there in the job. Moon, I have already told you, Moon Ketu connection is there, trying to the Saturn. This native changes job 4 times. Let's see. Here Saturn is sitting in the 6th house. It is 6th lord also, sitting with the benefic, but it is aspected by the Moon. This is one of the reason. Then 10th house lord is Mercury, Mercury is also sitting with the Ketu. This is second reason. Let's see if 8th lord or 12th lord is afflicting it. So 8th lord is Mars sitting in the natural Capricorn sign in the 5th house, as well as 12th lord sun is also sitting. So you can see why native changed job 4 times. Natural Capricorn sign is afflicted. 6th house has Saturn aspected by moon, and 10th lord Mercury also has connection with the Ketu. Thank you. This is a brief introduction I have presented to you. I will extend it more in future if you give response, and please give feedback and like and subscribe. Thank you.